Hi, and welcome to your next episode. So, I wanted to check in with you, see where you're at. We're 2 weeks into the new year, and 2026 feels different. I'm hearing lots about that stepping into the year of the horse and that kind of change from last year. For me, this year seems huge. I'm stepping into my 50th lap around the sun. And I'm taking it very personal. I see this as a new chapter. I don't buy into this new year, new me, and rah, rah, rah. No. New year, same me, but with a lot more attitude. There's going to be no more playing small, no more keeping quiet. That's old Marie. This is Marie stepping into that sovereign energy. And you can either come with me, it's going to be a hell of a ride, or you can get off at the next stop. Because I owe it. I feel like this is like owing to myself. Potentially, I could have another 40 years in front of me if I'm lucky. The last 50 years has been the dress rehearsal. Now the curtains have opened on my 50th year, and it's going to be a hell of a show. I can feel it. So as I say, this year's going to be huge. This will be my 30th year as being a parent, of raising children. So along with that comes the almost scary prospect of stepping into my own without having the immediate responsibility of having a child at home. Now, throughout my whole of my adult life, I had my eldest child when I was 20, still a baby. So since I was 20 until this point, I've always had children at home. My youngest are turning 18 this year. So we've got a series of big birthdays, 50, 30, and 18, all kind of milestones in their own right, each significant for that kind of part of your journey. And I owe this to myself and the life that I want to expand into. So I'm taking this as a very personal journey. And this next chapter, this next phase feels like it's going to be big for lots of different reasons. And because it feels so big, especially this year, I'm having to come back and ground myself. Because if I start running away with how big it feels too big. So going back to what I practice and what I preach is being quite mindful and in this moment, today, and what steps I can do today, tomorrow, next week to get me to that bigger point. So I feel a little more prepared for it. So for me, January is all about intention, being a little more intentional with my connections, intentional with how I put myself out there as a wellbeing practitioner, and how I can intentionally fill my cup and create rituals and routine for myself so I can turn up for others a little more. And I feel as though I have neglected myself. I know that I have spoken to people and kind of explained how I want to curate a new sense of being. And within that, I realized that I have to be more intentional. Intentional with my connections, intentional with what I want to achieve. So I spent some time journaling and kind of not really planning out, but putting some ideas down there about what I wanted to add to my life and what I felt that I was missing, and also what I could do then to create more within my life as well. And as a parent, when you become someone's parent, they're your primary focus. And my children have been. And I'm realizing that once they move and take their next steps, I then need to create a life for myself. And I want to be intentional with what that's going to look like and curate it, so I can do more of what I love, what's going to light me up, so then I can create a life for myself that I'm happy with, a life that I want to immerse myself in as well. So it's an exciting time, 2026. So big up 1976 crew. Where are all my 76 women at? And what are you doing to celebrate you in your 50th year? How are you redressing the balance if you are coming to a point where your nest or your home is going to be a little more quieter? How are you approaching this year? And like I say, with me stepping into this sovereign energy, I'm going to be more me with definitely more attitude. I can feel it. I can feel it bubbling at the moment, where I am not going to be quiet. And if something feels a little unjust, I'm going to speak up. You can guarantee you will hear me speak up, because all too often we mute ourselves. I found that you mute yourselves even when you are standing in your power. Sometimes you still mute yourself or soften the edges a little bit, for fear of being seen, for fear of putting yourself out there, or just that kind of uncertainty, because people can be unkind, can't they, as well? So I'm going to be standing in that power a little bit more. And I feel as though I owe it to myself to be true to myself. And the tail end of 2025 very much helped me thrash out and cut through some of the BS that has been in my backpack, what I've been carrying. Because I've realized a lot of what I am carrying isn't mine to carry, it's other people's. So in part of that acceptance of and lightening the load a little has enabled me to open myself up, to be a little more open to exploring what is mine to carry and what is somebody else's. So that's something else that I don't want to carry into this next chapter. Somebody else's baggage, somebody else's heaviness. As they say, generational trauma carries on through your DNA. So I realize a lot of what I'm carrying isn't mine to carry. So I am making space to release and let go. Still part of that shedding phase, but getting ready to really hit the ground running, fill up myself, and step into my 50th year with a bang. Not one for fireworks, but I think firework analogy is quite something in this moment. And I wanted to share that with you. I've just been out for a walk, so I always feel I get those kind of moments of inspiration when I'm out walking, and I just felt the need to come back and share those little nuggets with you, because in sharing those with you, I'm sure other people kind of echo those same thoughts, feelings, just how this year feels different. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Let me know.